Dumb and wise. Once upon a time, there was a wise and intellectual man who, lacking substantial wealth or a stable job, had to move from one place to another to earn a living. Along the way, he encountered a middle-aged man riding a camel laden with two saddlebags. The man perched atop the burdens, sang to alleviate his solitude. The pedestrian, feeling fatigued yet drawn to companionship, thought, although I'm weary and on foot, this man on the camel seems like a fellow traveler with whom I can share conversation, making the long journey more bearable. Approaching the camel rider, he said, "Greetings! Seeing you brought me joy. Walking may tire the body, but the weariness of solitude weighs heavier on the spirit. Now, as long as we are together, we can engage in conversation and ease the length of the road through dialogue." The camel rider responded, "I too suffered from solitude. I sang to myself. But whether on foot or mounted, it makes no difference. Walking has its merits. When you arrive home, you have no worries about fodder for horses and cattle. As the poet says, blessed is he who has no donkey, for he knows not of straw and barley." The pedestrian chuckled and remarked, "Well said. However, being on foot has its drawbacks. When you reach your destination, you don't have to worry about straw and barley, but you must carry your own load and tread the path with your own feet. Yet I find joy in the thought of carrying my own burdens. If I were riding a camel, I'd imagine the camel complaining beneath me." The rider laughed and said, "Well, that's an interesting perspective. People without camels have such thoughts. But you see, God created camels to bear loads and eat hay. If you don't ride, someone else will." The pedestrian pondered and asked, "What can I say? Though I have no disdain for walking, there's a certain satisfaction in sharing the burden with a camel. By the way, what's in those saddlebags?" The rider replied, "One is filled with wheat, which I transport from the farm to my home, and the other is filled with sand and gravel." Perplexed, the pedestrian inquired, "Why do you carry sand and gravel in them? Can't you find sand in the city?" The rider explained, "I don't use the sand for any work. It's just that the wheat wasn't enough to fill both bags and secure them to the camel, so I filled one with sand to have two full bags and sit on the load myself." Amused by this revelation, the pedestrian chuckled and said, "You've come up with quite an invention. Instead of that, you could have divided the wheat, put in two bags, made two loads for the camel, and comfortably sat on it yourself. It would have made the camel's load lighter, and loading and unloading the saddlebags would have been easier." The camel rider, a simple-minded man, praised the idea, saying, "Well done. No matter how much I think, I couldn't come up with anything. Clearly, you are a person of great intelligence and wisdom." The pedestrian, however, replied, "No, this matter is quite simple." Feeling a sense of compassion, the camel rider thought of inviting the wise man to ride with him. Suddenly he asked, "Well, wise and knowledgeable man, tell me the truth. Who are you? With your intellect and understanding, you must be a minister, lawyer, sultan, or nobleman. You must be someone of great stature. The pedestrian clarified, no, I'm just an ordinary person, like everyone else. I am not a scholar. As you can see, my attire is plain, much like that of most people. The rider exclaimed, it can't be, with all this intellect. You surely have a lot of money that brings you contentment. Your mind is free, allowing you to solve the wit problem so easily. The pedestrian responded, by fate, I don't even own a star in the sky. Now, with you, I don't know where I'll work tomorrow or what I'll eat. I'm currently unemployed and heading to the nearby city in search of work. This intellect and understanding, as you claim, don't bring anything beyond a simple life. That's it, and nothing more. The writer insisted. It's evident that you don't want to reveal your true self. You probably have camels, cows, sheep, and are looking for a shepherd or herder. Regardless, someone as intelligent as you must excel in many things. The pedestrian clarified, no, brother, I have neither a horse nor a camel, no cows, no sheep, no shop, no money. I'm not unfortunate, but I lack worldly possessions. My body is healthy. I work and I eat bread. Today I'm jobless and I'm going to the city in search of work. The intellect and wisdom you speak of don't bring me anything beyond a simple life. Just this and nothing more. The rider condescendingly remarked, what a wretched and pitiful person you are, oh poor soul! I own 10 camels, 100 sheep, 50 cows, 2 fields, a wheat storehouse, maidservants, slaves, and I'm highly regarded. I have fine shoes, an extensive wardrobe, and 10 well-furnished rooms. At gatherings I receive bows and greetings, leading a comfortable life. My library is filled with manuscripts even the local scholar envies, all with an imperfect intellect. In contrast, you, with your wisdom, possess nothing but fanciful ideas and troubles. If wisdom entails such emptiness, I'd prefer not to have it at all. By the way, I do need a farm worker, but I'm apprehensive of your presence. Please leave promptly. I fear your misfortune might affect me. A knowledgeable yet useless individual is ominous. The pedestrian retorted, I'll depart, but despite your boasts, in my view, you're a foolish, unintelligent, and miserable person. Acquiring everything with money reflects a lack of wisdom and intellect. I would never wish to emulate your life. The pedestrian parted ways, taking a different route. Coincidentally, as the rider continued on his journey for a while, 2 other camel riders, who happened to be bandit thieves, approached and asked, what do you have in the camel's load? The camel rider responded, just a moment ago, another person was with me, claiming that I'm a foolish and unfortunate man. He said I buy everything with money and lack intellect and understanding. He left me. The camel's load is as it is. One of the thieves drew a dagger and slashed one of the saddlebags to see what was inside. Coincidentally, the bag contained sand and gravel. In response, the thieves, rather than robbing him, gave him a few blows to the neck and left, mocking, truly you are a foolish man. The desert is full of sand, and you load the camel with sand. At that moment, the camel rider, who had narrowly escaped the clutches of the thieves due to this incident, smiled in relief. He said, "Well done, my own foolishness. I loaded sand, and otherwise the wheat would have been lost." After that, people witnessed that this man, if he loaded 100 camels, would fill one bag with wheat and the other with sand, paying no heed to anyone's advice. In response to people's laughter at his actions, he would say, "I know something that you don't know." The poor man became a source of amusement for the community, but in his heart he was content, knowing something that others didn't understand. He continued his life relying on his own unconventional wisdom, and he had farms, camels, horses, and everything. The lesson from the story of the pedestrian and the rider is the importance of recognizing and appreciating the value of one's own skills and intelligence. Despite the pedestrian's lack of material wealth, he possesses wisdom and practical knowledge that contribute to his self-worth. In contrast, the rider, despite his material wealth, reveals a sense of arrogance and condescension. His belief that possessions alone define success reflects a narrow perspective on true richness. Ultimately, the narrative prompts reflection on the balance between material success and the virtues of humility, recognizing that genuine richness encompasses not only what one has, but also how one treats others. If you liked or did not like the story, please comment below.